Hey everybody, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Josh.
With PDQ.com. It's Patch Tuesday. That means we're doing PDQ A, where you ask questions like you think we have the answers, and then Josh gives them to you. 100%.
Guys, I'm in the wrong place.
Before we dive in, I guess, going into Patch Tuesday, one thing, Marcel sent this to me in an email. It's been breaking the performance monitor on a lot of people's machines. He has it confirmed from multiple his signs. So if you've done your Patch Tuesday, make sure that's still working properly. But there were some bad ones this month. One that's already exploited. Two that are, I think the only reason they're not a 10 and they're 9.8 is because there are specific requirements. Like if you haven't extended your max receive LDAP buffer, you're safe. And if you are using NFS 4.1, you're safe. But anything earlier, I'm pretty sure that's a wormable one. So patch.
I don't think I've ever heard of anyone extending LDAP buffer. Cool.
And Marcel says next reboots fixed it.
Yeah.
Wow, 2. All right.
Double reboots. It's impressive.
That's why I always restart 3 times.
Leave the machine off overnight. Let it bake. Let it settle a little bit. Let it chill.
It needs to set.
just to marinate. All right, I guess that's all for Patch today. It's a bad one. Patch. Now let's answer some questions.
Okay.
Wait, before we do.
Yep. Go ahead.
I need to know who's on the board. Who's on the board? So we've got Jordan, Josh, audience. Anyone else feeling bold?
I want to be on the board this time.
Okay.
Well, and of course you need
0
me.
here.
Is what?
Chase with.
Please don't put me up there.
Chase. How many negative points?
I'll take 5 right now.
Let me get you. Okay.
So let's use me as a backboard. Whoever goes into the negative, I will receive their points, and they'll just stay at 0.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. Question number 1. Guys, we really love the automatic download packages, especially for third-party apps and browsers. However, the disabling of auto updates is a real problem for us. Turning them into standard packages and deleting that step helps, but we have to keep downloading the updated packages manually. Can you please include an auto download option without disabling automatic updates? Sincerely, Robin.
So, thanks for the question, Robin. I think we decided early on to turn off those auto updates by default. It was, I think the majority of the customers wanted that. Mm-hmm. So instead of turning it into a standard package, you're not getting updates, you can come in and do a post step, and you just reverse engineer the one that turns off auto updates in the post steps. Yeah. And then it will keep updating for new versions for you. After installs, the last step it will do will be to re-enable that.
Yeah, so those pre and post steps exist outside of the...
So it'll do everything. It will disable it and it'll turn it back on for you.
They exist so we don't have to create a million different iterations of what customers want. It's like, okay, all right, yeah, we'll make this one with auto updates, this one without, and then you start getting a really cluttered package library. With that, you can go, hey, I want to turn those auto updates back on. Bam, right there.
Okay. Who got the point for that?
I gave it to Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jordan definitely went that one.
Well, that's a good start. Next question. Guys, some of our remote offices have slower WAN connections, so it takes a while to copy over some of the larger installers. My main concern is Windows updates timing out midway through the install. DFS is not an option for us, so my question is what happens if a deployment times out halfway through the installation? Thank you, Tyler F.
So
Chase, before you start that, Chase, why don't you go ahead and zoom in on that so we can read it a little better at that question? But
okay. Well, yeah. I guess it depends where you're at in that installation process. If you're copying, probably nothing's going to happen.
Nothing's going to run at all.
But let's say that you've finished copying the file and it started the execution, like that command was given to run that installer, and then it times out while it's actually installing. Well, we're not going to abort that installation in progress, but what you're not going to get is the success criteria or the success code. So you won't know if it was successful or not, right? So if it's a big like 2 gig Windows update and you copy it and you start it and then it times out, 10 minutes in, that update's probably still going to apply, but it's going to show as a failed or a timed out
Yeah, it's not going to start the install until everything's copied over.
Yep.
So it's not going to be the entire time of the copy step and it's running. It's going to copy it over, and if it kicks off, it's going to finish it out.
Yep.
You just won't get the reporting back.
Exactly.
So I would guess in that one, if it didn't copy over, it's going to be a very different error. On that one, basically, it'll say, I can't remember the exact
Timeout exceeded for completion, some of those words in some order.
Yes, but if everything finished copying over, then just wait, give it some time, rescan, and it will let you know if it completed or not. But as far as tracking it once it's over there, we don't really have a way to do that one.
Yeah. I think there's also a blog post. You mentioned the DFS and is an option. There's a blog post we did at some point, or a webcast, I don't remember, where it's a DFS on a budget, I think was the name of it, where you don't actually have to have servers. It uses a robocopy and some scripting to achieve a similar effect.
Did Lex write that one?
It was either...
Was that a you?
It wasn't me. It may have been Steven Lex.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's an old one. It's in the archive somewhere.
Okay.
But the data's still good.
It is.
Yeah. All right, I gave Josh and Jordan a point on that one.
That was mighty generous
Pretty
of
cool
you,
with that.
JJ.
Nice.
All
It
right.
was only fair.
Next question. What is the best way to clear the Chrome cache on remote devices? Sincerely, Russell.
Probably should have researched that one. So is there a command line for clearing Chrome cache? I'm going to...
Ooh, let's do it live.
So, and there's a couple of other options too. Like if it is the system version of the install, it's going to be located different than the user. So if they have the user version of Chrome, you have to run that as logged on user.
Yeah.
But we'll see if there's a command line to do that. Is not where
Wow.
we go.
Iowa's winning the SEO game there.
Let's see here. Clear cache and cookies. So if there's a command line, which I guess I'll see here quick, then you could just send that command line over there, depending on if it's the install. I'm not seeing a command line for that though. Without that, that's going to require some research for me.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So
Give the audience an opportunity to take a point on this one, maybe.
there you go. Well, Tim says launch Chrome and incognito every time.
Oh, that one wins.
Okay.
That wouldn't be inconvenient at all.
I'll give Chase 1 point.
Yeah.
He has -4 now.
Hey. Oh, all right. There we go.
All right. So this was on a Linux site. Boy, I know I had something in there. There we go. RM. So just remove if it's still wherever the Chrome default is. If you clear that out, I'll clear out the cache.
Yeah. I would be fairly certain that the Windows and Linux flavors match.
Yeah. So
That cache.
maybe not the same path, but wherever the Chrome is installed, instead of RM,
Guys, we got to
if you're
get
doing
an ad
PowerShell,
blocker
just like
here.
remove dash
Yeah,
child
we do.
item.
I was about to say that.
All right. So there we go. That one should work, but that's untested.
Well, test in production. That's fine.
You know what would be the worst? If we got a copyright strike because we showed someone's ad.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Let's get an ad blocker on there.
Okay.
Oh, in the chat, they say it's just the local app data and then Google Chrome is where it's located.
Should I give that one to the audience?
Yeah,
So, yeah, they have the actual location where it is. So it's just remove what's in there, and that should clear the cache.
Well done, Chris.
Thank you.
Freaking audience.
All
You're
right.
so much smarter than us, dude.
Dear Josh and Jordan, when can we expect to see deep integration between PDQ, Deploy, Inventory, and SmartDeploy? Sincerely, Andrew.
So right now, I think we're still trying to
define deep there.
Yeah.
we're still trying to get integration of the companies in general, let alone the products. So I'm not sure the timeline for anything like that.
Maybe.
I don't have a better answer than that. It's like we're still doing the or I don't know where you guys are. You got insight on that.
I'm willing to gamble that it's on the timeline, but I
Yeah.
don't know for sure. I don't know.
Somewhere in the future.
Well, it is, as a matter of fact. I mean, when you're merging two companies the size of ours, there are a lot of things that are on the timeline, but they do take a lot of time. And to be real honest, we don't know exactly when that might be, or even if it is on the timeline. We do know that our products work well together, but that's pretty much all
They're
we can say.
complementary.
Yes, exactly.
Companies really love each other.
I say Kelly gets the point.
I think
he
Alexander
had the
gets
best
the point.
non-answer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Two companies, really. Yep, Alexander.
I mean,
gets
that's
one.
an audience. That's an audience point.
Totally an audience thing. All right, next up, guys, we want to do away with AD. What are our options to keep things rolling once we move all our clients to the Azure cloud? G. Roncalli.
I'm going to go out on a limb and assume you mean get off of local AD and move to Azure AD.
For deploying inventory?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your options at this point are there's a knowledge base article that's, if you search our help site for local account token filter policy. Right, what that means is it's going to allow a local account to access administrative shares, like the admin share, and start services remotely. It isn't enabled by default. Because deploying inventory aren't working with Azure AD, what you can do is just make sure that you set the same local account on every machine and then use that local account to manage your machines on-prem still.
So would Laps? I don't know if Laps works with Azure. I've never messed with it.
I don't know. I've never thought about it. I've always run a hybrid, so I'm not entirely sure if Laps is available in Azure AD only.
There we go. So existing with the products, there's no innate way, but there are workarounds where it can still
just
function.
use a local account that you'll have on all the machines anyway.
Alrighty.
Josh
Good.
gets the point.
Yeah.
Josh.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
All right, here's your chance, Jordan. Does PDQ have any plans to create an all-inclusive help desk program with deploying inventory, perhaps ticketing and change requests? Doug K.
So I think right now the only one I know for certain is the beta is soon trademarked for the agent product. But as far as what all that is going to entail eventually, I know initially it's not going to have any of that. But I don't know if things like ticketing or stuff like that is in the works.
I mean, if you would have asked me 3 years ago if PDQ will ever do an imaging solution of any type, the answer would have been, I don't know, and look what happened, 6 months ago. So maybe.
I guess if we do it, it'll either be an acquisition or it'll be an integration.
Yep.
Maybe perhaps through an API of some sorts.
Because I know several years ago,
a lot of other ticketing companies or a lot of ticketing applications do have API integration, so you can tie that in. You probably wouldn't be able to do it with deploying inventory, but who knows about our future product?
Yeah.
there was at one time we did know that is a request that came up frequently, and so we did explore that several years ago, and it kind of got put on a shelf. That being said, I don't know what the future holds, like these guys are saying.
I think what I remember the market research saying was it's hard to compete with free, and there are a lot of free ticketing utilities out there. Doesn't mean that they're good, but it was hard to compete with that free. So.
Awesome. Who gets that point?
Who gave the best non-answer?
I would say that's a non-point. No points.
I don't want to give a point to anyone.
No points.
All right, me apparently. All right, here we go.
No, you're still at -4.
Dear Josh and Jordan, say you set step 1 to evaluate a condition. Is there a way to end the complete package task if step 1 comes back as negative? Sincerely, Jeffrey B.
Sure is. You want to show it?
Either one of us can. So you're saying like the first one is you're checking for a certain condition, like you're scanning for it, or is it just checking for a condition live?
Well, there's a couple ways that I have done this in the past. The first one is the conditions tab, right? And this is based off a file, registry, or something that you define in inventory, where it's a true false. If false, then it doesn't do this step. But let's say you can't get it in inventory for whatever reason. Something that I have done in the past is a PowerShell step as the very first step. And I would set you can run the command just exit in PowerShell and give a numeric value. So like something I would do is, check for a condition and if true, exit 666, right? And then 666 isn't a success code for this, and it would just stop the entire package.
So you basically build a custom X code with PowerShell, and that's if the just regular conditions won't work. So if you come in here and say, has to be a member, or is not a member, or is a member of this collection. If it doesn't meet that, it's just going to kill right there.
Yeah. And keep this is a step condition. So this is for this one particular step to run. You can also set these conditions at the package level. So that's for the entire package to run.
Yeah. So in that case, if you run one thing and then you need to see if it's part of a collection, you can set the next step to scan.
Yep.
So it'll scan the computer itself, update everything. Then the next step checks to make sure the condition is updated, which the scan gives it time to do that.
Yep. Yeah, you might need to throw a sleep step in there at some point just to make sure that things have the dust is settled after the scan. But yeah.
So yeah, there's a few options. I think all of them work pretty great.
Yeah.
Should I give it to both of you?
I think Josh. I didn't add enough.
I'm not going to argue with you.
All right, Josh, you got it.
Sweet.
All right, next up, boys and girls, I built a custom scanner. Well done, by the way. Can I use the name of the scan PC within the PowerShell script? I would like to set a custom field of the scan PC from the result of a PowerShell query, example, version number. Sincerely, Julian L.
So there are variables in there that contain the PC name that you're running against. That you can run that one, and I failed to grab that. But
Yeah.
I'm grabbing the file there. So as far as the PC, I can't remember the exact name of the variable for that one. It's going to be a system variable.
Yeah, so Jordan's in the scan profile right now. I don't know if we can grab that on screen.
Am I not grabbing the right name? I don't know the name of the variable off the top of my head.
I don't remember either.
Just try a name then. I can type. Name's too much.
Name is a lot. Name's
Yeah.
going to return a lot there.
So nothing for PC though. So there is a variable that contains the computer name. I'm just apparently failing to find it here. Let's find
System.
system.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
There's so many.
It's
Why do
going
we
to
have
take
those
a
variables?
while.
Yeah, no. So there is a variable, and I'm drawing a blank. This is a great time to draw a blank.
I'm about ready to give no points here.
I mean, you
Yeah.
could also, if you've got it in your script,
find
you
it.
can also run environment variables, right? And
Yeah.
pass that back. So if you're evaluating, env : computer name, or echo host name, if you're running, batch, you can do that as well. But the reason there's so many system variables, right, is we've got all of the system variables for every application in the collection library and the version that they're currently at. So you can reference things back and forth that way.
Yeah, I've completely failed to find the name of that specific variable. If anyone knows that variable, it's just computer name in there,
Yeah.
and I think it's wrapped with a $sign or with parentheses for that one to call that one.
Yep.
So in your script, you can't specify a specific machine.
Yeah.
Using
Just look at the
variable.
format of the rest of our variables, and it's just a computer name.
Should I give that one to Josh or the audience?
Yeah, I didn't even know the name of the variable, so I'm out.
No. But Josh, you did give good advice with the. You still can use environment variables. You can use the. You don't have to. You're not required to use specifically PDQ variables.
Just kind of be aware of where you're executing from. You may need to use the I forget what it's called, but you have to say using this variable. I forget what that is referred to. The context you're in.
Yeah, it is. It's a context, right?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right, I'm giving it. Josh and the audience get a point.
Cool. Next question.
Each one.
Gentlemen, can PDQ upgrade versions of Windows 10, say from Windows 10 1903 up to 21H2? John.
So easily with the ones that work with the enablement package, which is a quick install, that one works just like any other package. If you're going from an old enough version where the enablement package does not work, you can make it work, but it takes long enough. You're not going to get a positive feedback that is done in your product. So we have a lot of forum questions on this one where we built it out, and some people made it work. But basically, you have to set up the update and just understand that in the middle of it, it's going to lose connection and it's not going to report back that it's successful. But it most likely was. You just have to go and scan again after.
Yeah.
Now we don't have the right people in the room to demo it, but could SmartDeploy do it?
Yes. 100% yes.
That might be the better solution.
That is purpose built for that. So yeah, that is definitely a SmartDeploy task.
Which, by the way, normally we have Glenn from SmartDeploy, but he is a bit under the weather today. So.
Yeah. He would have 100% gotten the point for that one.
Oh yeah.
Let's you know what? Let's just give it to him anyway.
Yeah. Well, for the enable one though, so just make sure, because if it's the enablement package, it takes a very brief amount of time. It's basically just flipping the switch saying these are now active. Mm-hmm. So check that first. If it's old enough where it has to be like the full update, SmartDeploy. If it's a more recent one, the enablement package will do it for you.
Yeah.
Nice. Good job, Glenn.
Dear Josh and Jordan, is there some type of role-based access or way to restrict deploy access so we can get some help desk usage? One speed.
Short answer, no. There's no RBAC in deploy and inventory.
This is one of the most requested things. We're aware of how much people want it. I just don't have a timeline for it.
Now, here's my long answer. There is a knowledge base article called PDQ Credentials Explained. Go find that article, familiarize yourself with it. So once you've got that article and you know what access needs to happen on what computer, what you can do is set up multiple instances of deploy and inventory and set that deploy and scan user to only be local admins on the machines you want your help desk to be able to scan. Right, so you're not giving them the full keys to the kingdom because you're giving them their own deploy and inventory instance that can only touch certain machines.
So that will restrict machines, but not restrict the packages they have access
Exactly. Like once they're in there and they got packages, they can touch those machines, but it keeps people from, hitting your domain controllers or maybe that production SQL server that you really don't want the latest flavor of Office on.
That works.
Sounds like a Josh point to me.
Yeah, I was about to give it.
Alrighty, let's go.
So
to the
far
next.
ahead, though.
Well, he's just gonna leap and bound ahead
Better
of us.
catch up,
apparently.
Jordan. Even the audience is beating you, Jordan.
That happens.
Even the audience.
You'll always be ahead of Chase, though. Hey, guys, will PDQ be available in the cloud soon? Carl D.
I don't know about cloud. The version that has the agent, the beta of that is coming out soon. TM. I don't want to give specifics and tie it into it, but shortly there will be the beta version.
Short answer, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but it is soon is a relative term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is cloud-based in that you can put it on a machine that you don't own.
It's a very nebulous term, cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be locally hosted when you put it on there, but you can still access it from a website.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hang on one second. I had to fix a typo. Okay,
No worries.
now we're good.
All right.
Can PDQ Inventory provide a report of what time a user is accessing a website on a web server? Try Mad Sky.
So that's an interesting one. I mean, if it's a web server that you're hosting, then I imagine it's going to be a scan against the web server itself, not your local machine. You want to go through the logs and find out who connected at what time. And that'd just be, we have a couple in there that are already about going through the different win events and tracking it that way. As far as tracking it on the local machine, I'm not sure how to track that.
I've done this once before. It's not clean. There's I think it's a Nursoft utility that's like a web history scraper. You can call it remotely, so you could use deploy to get that utility on some remote machine. Then use, maybe a PDQ inventory tool to call it to execute. And what that tool does is it actually it dumps out the history to either a CSV or a text file you can specify in command line parameters. Then you could use that, to go grab that file and bring it back. So really, you're just using deploy and inventory to keep you from sitting in front of the machine, but natively not really.
And that one you could do a PowerShell scanner then, where you're just using the CLI to call it, and then you just, whatever it captures, you're putting into an object, and then it will return to its own table.
And then
So natively, no, it's going to require some work. If you have the web server, it's going to be easier to scan the web server itself. If you're looking to do it on the local machine, there's going to be a lot of setup.
Yeah.
However,
It also sounds 50% like an HR question, too.
well, I was going to say you just have to activate Big Brother mode on deploy and inventory.
Ugh.
No? Okay.
Nah.
Is that a hidden feature? I don't think that's a hidden feature.
It's
All right. Any points?
No.
Nah.
But only because we don't have the answer is kind of no. Kind of yes, but kind of no, but you probably don't want to use our products for
Right tool for the right
that
job.
Yeah, there
in
you
a
go.
graceful way. They don't do it natively.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
All right, next question.
Dear Josh and Jordan, is there a way to create custom PDQ deploy steps that I can reuse, such as a pre-built don't allow PC to sleep for the next hour script that I can add to new step list? Ryan C.
You got the mouse?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'll
I was going
do.
to say, there's not a way to save the step itself. I believe you can copy steps between packages.
Exactly.
And Josh will show that.
Yeah, so you can actually, if you find a step and you control C, right, come to some new package.
Let's show that screen if we can.
Oh, yeah.
Except now you're good to show it.
All right. So if I, grab a package here, new command step, do things.
It's a good command.
I can copy that with Control C, paste it with Control V, and I can move these between packages, right? So I can copy this one here. Maybe grab, move this out of the way. New package over here. And I can move those steps in between packages with just copy paste.
Yeah, a lot of the background is XML, so copy and pasting between almost everything works pretty well.
Yep. Not going to save my do things command.
That's the best package you've ever built.
Might actually
Down
run.
now.
Okay, we'll do one more before we jump into a speed round.
All right.
And it's going to be a heck of a speed round. I'm just giving you all a heads up.
All righty.
Gentlemen, how do I, 1, send a friendly reminder message to users who do not reboot their workstations at least biweekly, and 2, create a report identifying those users? Sincerely, Jason.
So we had a script example of this a couple weeks ago sent in from one of our users. It's up on our Git now. Maybe I'll go find the link real quick. That will basically, it will pop up a window saying, hey, you need to reboot, yes or no. And then it will minimize all their windows when it does that.
Yeah.
So that one's incredibly useful if you really want to harass them to get to do it. There's one that will minimizes everything, then says, hey, you need to reboot. That's a great step for that. As far as tracking it, there's collections that track last reboot date, or you can build a new collection, and then if you right-click on that, you can build a report from that. I guess we can...
Yeah, let's show that. Because that's actually a pretty cool feature. And I think it's pretty severely underused, the ability to create a report based off a collection.
Yep. So if we come in here, we have this collection of uptime greater than 1 second. And is a workstation, not a server, so we're excluding servers.
Oh, good for us.
Yay. So from that one, you can just right-click on that, or was it from options? Where's the report from collection?
Does uptime,
Right there.
does this take into account fast boot? So fast boot may not necessarily indicate, like you have rebooted, but it won't tell you that it's rebooted, right?
I think so, but I think the scan that we have for overall uptime is not whether it's rebooted, it's the amount of uptime listed in the operating system.
So we can go back to those collection conditions as well, right? And set that. So if you set this up on a schedule, right? Maybe a reboot package on a schedule. You just set the conditions for that package to be uptime greater than X, whatever X is for you.
Yeah. And so I don't know if we followed that one, but we just after with reboot, please select it just report, new report from collection. And then you can set this report to run on the schedule where it will just always have the CSV of machines that are not there if you don't want to use the collection. But that gives you the collection and the report. And then I guess I didn't go find the Git link in there, but can we share that one? Or I guess I'll go find it.
Ooh, bonus content from webcasts. Yep.
Yeah, normally I just say, yeah, it's in there. I never actually go find it. What do I name it? Encourage VPN usage? No. I don't know what I named this
Minimize and reboot? There was one that's called minimize and reboot there.
Yeah. That one there, minimize and reboot. This script here will minimize all users' windows and pop up a message say, hey, you need to reboot.
Nice.
If you don't want to manually reboot it and you want the user to know what's happening, that's a fantastic way to harass them until they admit defeat.
Awesome.
All right, let's enter a speed round.
Yes, let's do.
This is going to be tough. There are quite a few questions still in the queue, but here we go. Is the custom field a good option to store version values of different apps? I'm thinking using a new scanner tool to fill those fields. What do you think, Julian L.?
So the custom field is one that has to be manually added every computer. So it's usually user specific. So if this is software you're using across the board, I'd recommend just making a new variable. Where we have like widget extreme in there as the example. This one is going to create that variable for any collection. It's a global parameter. But if it's software that's specific to a single machine, custom field is one where you just have to fill it out for every machine. But in that case, it sounds like variables might be better.
I think variables are better. Go look at one of the collections from the collection library as an example of how we use variables, and then you can build your own.
Nice. Next question. Guys, how do we get inventory to show a laptop online if it is on Wi-Fi, changing IP addresses regularly? Joe,
This one comes down to DNS. Deploy inventory relying on DNS. There's a bunch of webcasting content on how to kind of compensate for that. So
you have the heartbeat timer, which I can't remember what setting that was on. Is that a performance one?
No, I don't remember. Network maybe.
Network. All right. There it goes. Yeah. So in this one, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say it's also a DHCP thing. If you've got it where it's not doing a static IP, that might be. If you can change, if you're allowed to change that.
Yeah. There's a bunch of webcasts on the DHCP update proxy and DNS scavenging, and those are always a good watch.
Yeah. So even if it changes IP, the heartbeat where it goes out and pings, it should update for that one. For that, it's by default set to 300 seconds. If you're looking for more aggressive, you can lower the heartbeat. Just know it's going to make PDQ chatty.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Dear Josh and Jordan, can I link a custom field to external field from an SQL table? Let's say computer owner, purchase date, etc., from our hardware inventory. PDQ A.
Oh, hold on.
So I lack the ability to build that SQL query live, but the custom field tied to the machine is in a table within our product. So if you go through like the DB browser and go through and find where it's at, you absolutely can pull it out for SQL query. That's just one that, definitely not in a speed round, but even in general, I couldn't do that live. I'm terrible at SQL.
Oh, so am I. SQLite DBbrowser.org.
Spend the entire webcast.
Yeah, nobody wants to watch us stumble through SQL.
Yeah, so it's in there. It's stored in the right place. You just got to find the right table and call that one. It should work.
Where's Stephanie when you need her?
Exactly.
All right, next question. Have you had negative or positive experience either way, enabling or disabling the authentication code verification? Kevin?
I don't know. I've had an experience at all. I don't know if I've done that.
I think I know what you're getting at, Kevin, and it's the authentic code verification for. Are you talking about packages when they download from the library? If so, there is a check to make sure that package is signed with the PDQ.com code signing cert. Right? There's a bunch of things in that cert chain that can go wrong. There's some root authorities that have changed. I would suggest not disabling it. The reason is that you just want to make sure that you're running actually signed software in your environment.
All right. Let's call this next question point for Jordan. Jordan, what is the best, fast and dirty way to learn useful PowerShell? Sincerely, Hendu.
So there is a couple of them. There's PowerShell in a Month of Lunches, which the latest version came out a couple months ago. And that one is, I think, 2 chapters have to do with things that aren't cross-platform. Everything else is PowerShell that will work on Linux, Windows, or Mac. It makes it cross-platform. So that's a great way to learn it. There's another one. It's a book by Jeff Hicks. I think it's PowerShell IT Toolkit, where it's basically, he gives you a list of basically challenges to go through where you're doing PowerShell live and you kind of learning while doing. I can't remember the name. I linked to it in the podcast. I can't remember the name of the book off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But if you look, Jeff Hicks, he's got a couple books out there, and he'll do the one where you're doing live examples while learning.
Yeah. The way that I learned is I just, any time that I needed to do some administrative task, I would sit down and I would force myself to do it in PowerShell. That and I would bother Jordan and anybody else to the point where they wanted me just out of their office so bad. I just had to learn it.
There's a lot of ways. And the community is fantastic. There's a Discord and a PowerShell if you have questions, or even PowerShell.org. Everyone's willing to help in that community. So just dive in and start doing.
All righty.
For Jordan.
Next question. Hey guys, what is the state of the new Thing beta? I am still waiting. Marcel L.
Well, keep waiting.
Yeah, so,
Sorry, Marcel. I had to.
So I believe, and they don't want us to go into alpha, but it's too late now. That's starting soon before it goes into beta. We have a list of people that meet the requirements we're doing for testing. Mm-hmm. We don't have an exact date, but I don't think it's going to be a terribly long time. I have an idea in my mind, but if I give that date, I will removed.
We actually had a meeting
nice way of
yesterday,
saying
and that
that.
was one of the things. Jordan, if you say anything, we will remove you.
So I guarantee it'll be soon trademark.
Remove item Jordan dash force.
So it is coming. It's coming soon. We actually got to see a demo of what it looks like currently, and I think it looks fantastic. I'm excited for it.
Yep, it's very cool. All righty, next question. We have auto-download packages that won't approve. What could cause it to not approve or download? Joe M.
Joe, there's
Joe, Montana. Holy smokes! Yes!
Joe, there's so many things.
Falling on hard times.
So on your package, if you look at on the left side, I can show a screen here. These icons here will probably have a little red exclamation point. Hover over that guy, and it'll give you an error. The other place to look is try and manually approve it and get that error again, and then immediately look in the event log. I forget that doesn't work here. All right.
Jace, can you zoom out?
Grab this. Let me get this centered here.
Thank you.
If you look at the application event log, and you filter this for PDQ Deploy, PDQ Inventory, and .NET, it's going to give you a whole lot more information on what's going on there, right? So you come in here, filter current log, grab maybe critical warnings for these event sources, and come in here, pick Deploy Inventory in the .NET runtime.
Ooh, that didn't work at all.
And then you'll get some more verbose logging there.
I don't know what I did, but we're not searching for that. Right, and if the logs aren't helping you solve a problem, please do open up a ticket.
Yeah.
We have a lot of very smart people. I promise I'm not over there. They have smarter people.
All right, we have 3 questions left. Is this a make or break type of thing, JJ?
I don't think I'm competitive.
It's not.
It's not. All right, well, then
No, it
let's
depends
just-
on if Jordan can answer every single one of them.
Okay, here we go. What's the best way to install Microsoft Store apps like TODO by using PDQ and not the Microsoft Store? Ray.
So
man.
I believe Microsoft Store is being depreciated. They have a different business one, but WinGet is a command line tool that works for that, but that one will most likely install for the local user. So if you have the WinGet install line, you can put that into a PDQ package. Just make sure that's running as logged on user, and it will install specifically for that one machine. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, there's the Apex package in Active Directory. That's not going to be the Windows Store, but if you look in there, it uses a similar thing. So you can get Windows Store-like apps with Get Apex package and install, or you can use WinGet, which is the command line version, doesn't have PowerShell. You just have to use that as logged on user.
Okay.
Also, I think you mean deprecated. Not
Deprecated, yeah.
Yeah.
Either way. Ooh, I do see a question here that just came in from Russell. There's a blog. I'm gonna call out my own blog here. It's called Managing Servers.
And his question is, how can I have distributed servers for PDQ in multiple locations? Is his question.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. That means that Jordan's out of the running now. Josh has got.
Oh, he can't just grab extra questions.
Question.
All right.
I
Next
see a question in there. How do I get so handsome? Genetics.
All right, now they're tied. All right, next question. Will there ever be an Office 365 Office auto download package? Grant B.
So, a lot of times when it comes to the package library, it's more of a licensing issue than anything else. But especially with Office 365, the customization that goes into it, where so many components in that, we can't just build a default. Everyone's got their own environment, so that's one where we can't really build, here's this one going for everybody.
And Microsoft just says in the EULA, nope, no redistribution. You're done.
All right,
And yeah, we can't really template that one either.
Yeah.
For Jordan's reason. Yeah.
Final question of the day. Here we go. Hi, guys. Is there a way to create a package configuration that can be used as baseline configuration for workstations, like remove and install software automatically? 1A.
So there is, if you download all the packages you want, like the uninstall and the install ready to go, you can use something called nested packages. Or if we come in here and just do a new step where it's nested packages, point to it in that, just all the different packages. You can have a baseline package in that one that's set off a schedule when the machine first adds, or it's a new machine, where it will go through and it will install all the apps that you want without having to have multiple packages. And other than that, if it's a new image, a SmartDeploy is going to be able to build that and then just use deploy to update what's in there.
That's what I was going to say. Use SmartDeploy, get that image on there just the way you want it, and then, let Deploy Inventory manage it from there.
Boom. Look at that.
Quit answering questions, Josh. All right.
Sorry.
Sorry, you never got a chance
I like
to
that
catch
we're
up.
trying real
Jordan.
hard to make it look like I was competitive. I appreciate the team effort.
No, I just think it's awesome.
Well,
Josh is padding his victory by creating questions and answers independently. He's a thinker, that Josh.
That's why he's the savvy vet.
All right, so how did we end up, JJ?
All right. So caveat here, I did not give a point to Glenn because I don't want to encourage giving points to those that do not show up for the
Absentee points.
Let's not set that precedent. So Glenn, if you end up watching this episode, we'd love to have you on the next one. We're going to try to get you in here to answer any SmartDeploy questions. Audience, ask as many SmartDeploy questions as you feel like you should, and then we can give you points. Hopefully points.
Okay.
Chase for I like -4.
Yeah.
Kelly with 0.
Woohoo.
The audience had 3. Josh with. Now let me do Jordan first. Jordan.
Oh.
Now you know who the winner is.
I wonder who won.
You already knew that. Jordan with 9. Josh with. Do we want to guess how many?
I'm going to say 11.
11.
You guessed correctly.
Did we answer that many questions?
Yes,
Or did we
we
try to?
We did. We
there were a
knocked
lot.
a
Dual
bunch
points
out at the
couple
end.
times, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's that. There's that too.
So,
I'll take a 2-point loss to Josh. That actually feels like a victory for me.
so basically, Josh goes to 11. So there you go.
All right, you will
Well
be
done.
getting the Lego trophy. It's a big win.
Fancy.
All right, thanks everyone for tuning in. I don't know. I really enjoy the PDQ A. It's fun just to answer questions, and it's the time where I get to see most what other people are working on with the environment.
Yeah.
Mostly, I just get to do theoretical. It's like, what could I do this? I get to see actually.
It'd be like shotgun IT.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
it. I like it. So thanks for tuning in. For PDQ.com, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Josh.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Congratulations, Carl D. and One Speed, winners of PDQ swag. Send us your info at webcast@pdq.com. If you like what you've seen today, by all means, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.